All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Anchor Lake Podcast. I'm your host, Griffin Gushman, joined by two very special guests from Washington University in St. Louis, along with my co-host. So if you guys all want to introduce yourselves.
Peter Mag.
Josh Hernandez.
And Jaden Wyatt. And our guests are
I'm Kyle
Well,
Wolford.
I'm Alex McCormick.
Great to have you guys on the podcast. We're looking forward to getting some great perspectives from across the UAA on this episode. So we want you guys to just tell us a little bit about yourselves, your personal journeys in swimming, what really led you guys to WashU and to the backstroke group as training partners.
All right, Kyle, you want to take this one?
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah, I was I think our last commit in the class of 2024. I was looked all over D3, a lot of different places. It came down to between here and Carnegie Mellon, and I ended up just coming to WashU. Got here, and I roomed with Alex freshman year, and I genuinely, like, our whole team, we didn't think he was a real person. Because he was one of those dudes who, like, had a blank Instagram account, like 100 followers, just not on any other social media. And I remember I DM'd him about, like, rooming with him like 2 months before it was due. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like, I'm looking into it, I'll let you know." And then the last day that, like, things were due, I was like, "Hey man, so, like, are we, like, rooming together or not?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, we can do it." And so I was before I got to campus, I wasn't sure that he was a real person. And then it got here, and it was like pretty much for our whole college career, we've been, like, just the two distance backstrokers on the team. Like, we got a couple guys who can swim two back as another event, or some guys who only swim 100 back. But, like, in terms of backstrokers, it's just been the two of us for 4 years in college, and makes it really, really interesting training group.
I can imagine. I mean, you two certainly are putting it down for WashU, though. I mean, I have no reason to doubt your ability and the training you guys are going through. It's just it's great to watch.
That sounds kind of like you not being a real person.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Peter never saw campus until he stepped foot on it the first day to move in. And I had to group me message Peter and ask if he wanted to be my roommate because he didn't, like, give me his phone number or anything. And then I said, "Oh, like, do you have any social media we can connect on?" He goes, "Yeah, do you use Reddit?" So that was my first interaction with Peter. That might be better than a blank Instagram with 100 followers. But we can confirm that Peter and Alex are both real. So
Yeah, that's great because me and Kyle, he's very, very knowledgeable about swimming, and I'm, like, not knowledgeable at all. So, like, he kind of keeps me in the loop with all the swimming knowledge going on in D3, and I kind of just, like, I'm just there to swim. Like, we're just a dynamic duo in the backstroke.
Where have
Like,
I
that's
heard that
what we
before?
do.
Where have I heard that before, Griffin?
yeah, it seems like you're describing the two of us here. So it sounds like we got a similar story. Yeah, but I mean, just kind of going from there, how have you guys really, utilized this beginning of the season? I mean, it seems like, WashU, particularly you guys. I know, Alex, I saw you were throwing out some pretty impressive times earlier in the season, 146 in the two back. Both of you guys seem to be doing, exceedingly well this early in the season. What are some of the things you've really focused on in the off season, these first couple weeks of practice to really be hitting it off this early?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Kyle have been working on underwaters a ton. Because, like, now, like, backstroke, the only way to really be fast is to be good at underwaters, which is unfortunate because it makes all the 200 backstroke a lot harder. But yeah, I mean, in every single practice, we every single practice we're pretty much together, right next to each other, lane by lane, and we just work with our underwaters with each other, and every kick set try to go past 12 and a half yards off every wall, and just basically that. And then the backstroke just comes with swimming it a lot.
Every wall, 12 and a half off every wall.
Yeah, our coach
Yeah.
really hammers that. I mean, it's a good thing, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's like he doesn't say anything, but whenever doing a kick set or something, he has, like, you just know he's expecting 12 and a half off every wall.
I,
That's wild. I mean, I think I can speak for at least Jaden here, but as distance swimmers, we don't really partake in underwaters that often.
Oh yeah, we got those distance swimmers. I mean, you said we're allowed to shout out, right? I'd like to shout out Kenny for that because he does probably about I think zero off every wall, but I
hmm
mean, still a monster in those D sets. So
Yeah, I remember it was at, like, the start of this year. We've always, we've pushed, like, 40 minimum, like no matter what you're doing in practice, whether it's like a 400 warm up or you're doing like a long aerobic set, you got to take 4 dolphin kicks. And I was cool with that. And then we had like a kick set earlier this year, like first couple weeks, and I was, it was like 50s fast, and I'm kicking to halfway or a little past, and our coach's like, God, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, he's like, you're kicking to halfway, and I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, kick to 15. And I'm like, oh man. Oh, so yeah, it's definitely been an uptick in just hammering underwaters. And I think I definitely felt it at shootout. Like the two back, I was hitting 5 to 6 dolphin kicks, and I'm like, oh, this is like using practice every day. It's unfortunately it pays off. I wish it didn't. And I could stop doing it, but it's the life of the two backstroker.
There
You
we
guys use
go. Yeah,
drag
if you're
socks?
two backstrokers listening, you gotta get to 14 yards, whether you like it or not.
Mm.
I'm super curious. You talked about how at the shootout, the the underwater kicks you've been doing had you feeling right. Maybe not, physically training wise, maybe mentally. How do you mentally prepare both of you for races, and how has that approach evolved, throughout your time you've been swimming?
I'll chime in here. It's honestly, I love racing at meets like that. Specifically because like I pretty much just look at everyone else and I'm like, well, they're not Alex. It's good to like remind me that like, because every day in practice I swim against him and I just get rocked. I just get bodies like bam, bam, bam. But I go to a meet like this and I look at these other people and like, they're beatable. Like I know that if I can get within 3 seconds of Alex in practice, I can beat everyone else by 3 seconds at a meet. So it's really nice to just have him to sort of base myself off of and feel confident going into these meets. And like, yeah, I'm actually, I don't suck at swimming.
So do you fall victim to like the first day jitters? Like I totally fell victim to that this week at our midseason meet. But so you go up to the first day, and is that what you're thinking right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, it's I just get there and I'm like, damn, if that's what he does to me in practice, like what are these guys gonna do? And then I'll race like the 2 medley relay or something, and then I'll be like, oh okay, I'm with everyone else. It's just he's up there and I'm down here, but everyone else is also down here with me. So it feels kind of nice.
We get a little bit of that whenever we do sets with Peter. He just kind of sometimes it gets a little hard to swim in a lane with Peter. He might run you over once or twice.
I think every single person in our group has been lapped by Peter like minimum once on a set this year. Like that's not even a remote exaggeration. I think what did you go, Peter, at the end of that practice that we did it was the 4 125s.
Oh my God,
4
that was
250s,
awful.
4 375s, 4 5s. Did you go 448 on the last 500 of that set?
I think either that or a 447, somewhere like that.
So yeah, he pretty much goes faster in most practices than I do in dual meets. So Kyle, I see where you're coming from on that one, but that's definitely a good mentality to have. Speaking of the shootout, how did that go for you guys this year? I mean, that's probably one of the most exciting fall meets outside of mid seasons, obviously. In D3, I'm just like super curious as to what you guys think of that format every year.
Yeah, I mean, I can answer this. I mean, shootout is such an interesting experience with only 8 people going. And I feel like, I don't know, it brings out the best like energy within a team, within all the teams there. So I mean, that was my 3rd time going, and I don't know, it's just every single year the energy gets more and more like built up. It's kind of cool because there's like not a lot of, it's like kind of exclusive meet, so like I don't know, everyone there on the team can be cheering for a person swimming, and it's like such a interesting like structure too. It's like you always have someone in the water, which is super cool, and you're always having someone to cheer for. So I think the biggest like takeaway from that meet is like, yeah, there are fast times, but like just like kind of the morale and the energy boost from the cheering is like the big part of that meet.
I also want to chime in here. So that was my first time going. Sophomore year, I just wasn't good. And I remember talking to Alex before because I heard about this at the beginning of the season, like before pretty much anyone else on our team knew about it. That's the whole swim nerd thing. I'm like, yo, have you ever heard of like the SMU Classic? And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? He had no clue. And I was like, the whole time I was like, damn, like that sounds like such a cool meet. But I just like our team, especially sophomore year, our shootout squad was really, really just electric. I think they almost beat Chicago at that meet. And it was a huge deal. And I just remember seeing that like as someone who wasn't there and thinking like that's so cool. It's such a competitive team environment. And people were throwing down some wicked times. And I really wanted to like get on that. And then junior year, I was like, swam pretty well in our first dual meet, and then got myocarditis right after that. So just like missed the whole fall semester. And I'm sitting at home watching shootout, and I'm like, damn, like I really wanted to go to that this year. And then this year, I don't know. I mean, they don't tell us like what the order of people were, but I know I was the last person on our team told that they were going to the meet. And so I just really wanted to get to that meet and like show that I belonged and show like, yeah, like you made the right choice bringing me to this meet that I've wanted to go to since my sophomore year. And so it was really, really fun to get there and finally see it in person and just go fast, you know? It's just the best part about swimming.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love
for
that
sure.
mentality. I love that mentality. You know, you made your spot and then you prove that you earned it, right? I mean, that's something I feel like I would struggle with because I feel like if I made like a roster like that and I would get to the meet, I go, oh my God, like I made it, but like I'm really scared here, right? Like how do you manage to like overcome this kind of thing? Like it's something that I'm honestly just trying to ask for myself here.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken me a while too because like I would dread meets for a while. Just like just getting up and like going against other people. It's pretty intimidating. And I'm just like I don't know, I've come to love like racing, whether it's just like small things like in practice, you know, where like we're kicking to we do 12 and a half meters underwater dolphin kick and then easy to the wall. And it's like I just want to race that. And it's just like little races that I do every single time in practice that sort of make me like it's like, yeah, okay, I get to race now, I get to race now. And I sort of look forward to it. It's just I don't really know how to like flip your mindset to that, but it's just something about just getting up there and just doing what you can that really gets me going.
I mean, I just get confidence kind of knowing that I did everything I can training wise to get like to that meet. It's like in high school, I'm sure you guys probably have the same thing, but like I definitely did not looking back at it, I definitely did not do everything that was needed to like be the best I can. And like going transitioning to college, it's giving me an environment where I can like do everything. Like we use drag socks, we use like all these different equipment and like the sets are harder. We actually do like doubles and all that stuff. Just giving me an environment where where I know I've trained the hardest I like possibly can. And just the fact that I know that I have a confidence behind the blocks. And I think that's what drives me.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And it looks like it really paid off for you guys this year with the 1-2 punch and the 100 and 200 back at the shootout, obviously. Are there any like particular sets? I know you guys talked about kicking a 12 and a half underwater, things like that, but any sets that really have stood out to you this year that you guys have done in the backstroke group?
I got a set. You want to go, Kyle? You want to go first, just so we don't
I
take
want to
turns?
hear what yours is.
Okay. Mine's definitely every Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday. We do
Yeah, this is the set I was gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah, we do like a 50 set or something like that. Where our coach pulls out these really old charts from like I don't know, like 1980s. Um, and it's like tells you your first split of your the second split of your 100. Like if you go like want to go like a 4600 back, it tells you what your second 50 should be. And we do that was like a couple of weeks ago, we did 1250s on 130, um that goal pace. And the problem with that pace chart is it's like so wrong. It's like the differential between the splitting is like I don't know, like point 0.8 between 100.
I'd say like
And
yeah, point 0.8 tops.
yeah, it's just not right at all, but we're supposed to like follow it. And especially with backstroke, when you're like coaches expecting you to go 10 kicks off every wall off for all those 12 of those 50s. And that's like literally the only way you can go those speeds. Like those sets are absolutely terrible. And we do it like every Tuesday or Wednesday,
I
something of
think
that
I've
nature.
in my history of looking at meat mobile splits excessively, I've seen like maybe two guys do the splits like the way that pace chart says to. It's like ridiculous. It's like 48. I think for a 48-0 100 back, it's like 23-6, 24-3 or something. Just nobody does that. And it's especially tough because at least for like my first 3 years of college, I convinced myself that I was a 50 backstroker and not a 200 backstroker. So I was like, I didn't have much endurance on the backstroke races, and obviously Alex did. And so we'd be doing this set together, and we'd start off, and we'd both go like, same time, and then the third one he'd like beat me by a couple tenths, fourth one a couple more tenths, and then by the end we're like 3 seconds apart, and I'm like dying on the walls, and he's just going the same exact time they went at the start of the set, and I'm like, damn man, I just can't compete. But it's definitely keeps me in it, and that's one of those sets where you just kind of have to, at the start of it, you just accept that it's gonna hurt for about 20 minutes, and then it's gonna be done, and you'll be fine afterwards. But yeah, that was what I was gonna say too. It's a grind.
I mean, clearly it's working. I mean, I looking your splits. I mean, like it seems like you guys are certainly coming back home strong.
Yeah, that has also that's been a little challenge of mine because I love swimming two backs just like stupidly. Like I love just going out as hard as I can in a two back and just suffering on the way home. Because my lifetime best time was from sophomore year when I was like, I told my coach, I was like, hey man, I don't care about this swim at night. I'm just gonna just go out as fast as I can and see where it takes me. And I think I added like 2 seconds per 50. And it worked out. And I went my best time. So I've been trying to break that habit, but it always pulls me back in.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a good thing to tinker around with some different strategies. I mean, like this weekend, Peter went out, would you go out 53-1 in your 100 fly, and when you had never broken 54 in the 4 IM, and
Yeah,
ended
that
up
worked out.
dropping like 5 seconds. So, and then there's the other end of the spectrum when I went out 2:14 in the 500 and went 4:38 in finals. So, sometimes it just happens.
Everyone's different. I feel like the race strategy that you use in your race has to like is always like dependent on who you are, right? Like I couldn't like get up here and like swim a two back like Alex does, right? I'm not Alex, and two, like it probably just wouldn't fit like my stroke or my style, right? So I think it's very important that you took this time and you experiment different things and you found something that maybe you don't like it, but it worked for you at the end of the day.
I gotta say I'm not convinced with that strategy, but I don't know. You got to see him after that race. I don't think it's worth the best time, bro. Please, you gotta
I'd say
stop doing that.
keep an eye on the final splits at Denison. We'll see how that goes. Makes
It's
it
obviously,
entertaining though. I'll say that.
yeah. So looking forward to Denison. What's your guys' training block looking like here? Obviously, I know Alex, you're home for Thanksgiving. What are you guys doing? Because this is a totally new world for us. We've always had our midseason meet before Thanksgiving. How do you guys sort of manage that with the D3 schedule of not sticking around in St. Louis for the whole Thanksgiving break?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I don't know. I just feel like we are like kind of cooking with oil like for the first 2.5 months of our season, and then right before our midseason meet, we kind of just end like training. Like we get in this routine, and then right before it, we just end training. And I'm going to be swimming with the high school or my high or old high school team. But our coach just gives us practices that we do, so it's basically just um doing the WashU practices. It just kind of sucks. Last 2 years I've been swimming alone, and I'm sure you guys have this, but like it's super hard to get yourself motivated while swimming alone. And that's honestly the hardest part about having midseason afterwards is keeping that motivation through taper. And I know that's like a big problem on our team. And I don't know. I feel like our team really is does well with other people pushing them. And when that just gets taken away a week before, it just sucks. And there's really nothing you can do about it. But I mean, like every other team at our midseason going through that too. So we're all at an even playing ground.
I totally get what you're saying, because we actually make an effort to stick together during our spring breaks at least, because like I mean I'm totally there with you. If I go home alone, there's a 50-50 shot I'm just not gonna hit the pool, right? So when you stick
The
together,
80-20, Peter.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like sticking together definitely is a way to keep practicing, but also going back to like your old clubs or old high schools, fantastic way. I always pop back with my old club, and it keeps me accountable to make sure I keep hopping in the pool, right?
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna. I leave tomorrow morning, and I probably end up just swimming with my club team. Just because it's. I mean, I could swim on my own, but yeah, it's the same thing as Alex, where it's like it's so hard to get yourself into the pool and do exactly like, oh, I have to do this and this and this and this, and there's four like 80-year-old dudes swimming next to me, and those are the only people I got to swim with. Versus, I can go to my club team, and there's usually, multiple college swimmers who come back at the same time and will like have their taper meet too. So we sort of get our own lane to like do the set, but not as hard. And it's just it's really really tricky, I think, to get everyone sort of on the same page, because some people go back to their club team and just do a bunch of hard workouts, and then they get to Denison and they're like, borderline untapered, and it's very much on you to do it, which I think is different than a lot of like it's different than our conference preparation and different than like everything else we do. And so it's really important that we like stay on top of it. And I think it's fun. It's like kind of cool to see what I can do sort of by myself on taper, like not doing these explicit taper practices, but see what I can make of it.
So you have like the opportunity to take your taper more into like your own hands, right?
Mm, yeah.
I That's very interesting. So what kind of taper are you two try to pull off the going into Denison?
Personally, I'm a swimmer that does not know what to do if I don't have someone telling me what to do. So I just follow exactly what my coach sends. He just has an email out of what to do, like just like example workouts. Um, but I mean, there's nothing special with my taper. It's just normal, go down in yardage, like keep intensity high. But I know Kyle does something different.
I'm a fiend for high intensity, high breast yardage on taper. Just like all out 50s into easy swimming for like 600 yards, into a couple more all out 50s into easy like 600 yards, and then just repeat that as needed, and drop it down as you get on. And I mean, I think it's generally worked pretty well for me. I know I had to do that last spring for I went to a pro series meet like after our season was done, and that was like training completely on my own, just in our pool, and then tapering. Actually, there was one other guy who I tapered with, Austin Bick. Shout out to him. And that was really interesting, because that was like I had no guidance whatsoever. It was all just on me to see what I did, and I think it's kind of cool. It's like fun to do. It's exciting, but sometimes it's best to leave it to the coaches who get paid to do it.
Yeah, I'm totally with Alex here. Like I have no clue what I'm doing if it comes taper. I just midseason we hit a drop taper for midseason, then we get into like an actual like differentiated taper when we head into our conference or NCAA. But yeah, what do you guys have to say? You guys don't know how to say anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think back on my club team, we used to do a similar thing to what I think Kyle was describing, where it's a lot of high intensity swims with a lot of recovery in between. Um, Honestly, I think I'm someone who benefits more from the drop taper kind of rest, where you're coming off the heavy aerobic load like very quickly, because I think it just helps me more to be. I feel better when I'm in better aerobic shape. And I don't necessarily feel like I need to feel like as well rested to swim fast. Um, so I definitely am more of a fan of the mid-season taper than the end of season taper we normally hit, but that might just be a me personally thing.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden and I were in like a super similar position. I'm right with you, Kyle. I'm like a huge fan of coming off the season and just like doing a meet on your own. Just because one, I like to swim a little bit of long course, with still the college base of training, and also just like you said, it's kind of fun to just experiment with like how hard can I push myself on my own, like during captain's workouts and open swim and stuff. What pro did you go to the Westmont pro
Yeah,
swim?
Yeah, I went to the Westmont Pro Swim because it was like 30 minutes away from my house, and that's like
Yeah.
I was with my club team over the summer, and our senior champ meet is always there, so it was like basically a home pool for me. So I figured, why not?
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
that's awesome. That's Jade and I went to sectionals in Indianapolis, which my club team used to host our winter championship there. The NCSA winter invite would always be at IUPUI, so that was like a very familiar pool with me too. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely something interesting. Do you think you're gonna go to a pro swim series again this year?
Um, I probably won't just because we actually have a long course time trial at Denison.
No.
It's
Oh, that's right.
right before the meet starts, so we
Yeah,
have that. But also side note, what were you on Oli?
I was on Oli. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I swam at that NCSA like winter invite.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What club
I
team
was
did you
on
swim for?
bullets.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right.
That
This all
doesn't
makes
sound
sense
good.
now.
Well, we
Yeah.
were talking about
Okay.
that. I'm like,
It
wait a
doesn't
minute.
sound like he doesn't like sounds like he doesn't like bullets.
Yeah.
Small world, you know.
No, no, no. The Bullets guys are all super nice. Because I know your guys' coach is on the NCSA board with Jeff, who's the NCSA treasurer. He's my coach, so yeah, we see you guys obviously super frequently. How many times did you go to the NCSA winter invite?
I only made it out once because normally there was like high school in the way.
Yep.
But my
Yeah.
senior, I was like, might as well go to it. It's a cool meet.
Yeah, that was I went to that meet since its inception in 2015. So I made a couple trips out to the Indy pool. But yeah, it's a fast pool. And I speaking of Indy, you guys looking forward to this long course time trial, I take it. You think you're gonna make a shot at that 201 200 backstroke?
Hopefully, I mean, I don't think I swam like a long course two back since like my sophomore year of high school, or maybe I swam one my freshman year of college. It's just been a while since two back, so I'm kind of nervous. I don't really remember how to swim it, but I mean, and we're getting no meter training beforehand, so I'm gonna just try my best, and we'll see how that all works out. But it'd be cool because that's like Indy, and I mean I'm from Indiana, so um I've also swam IUPUI a ton. I mean it's not at IUPUI, but it's at Lucas Oil, so
Yeah.
it'll just be cool to be able to swim a trials at in my home state. So that's definitely a motivation to get it.
Yeah.
But I really do not know where I am at with meters. So we'll see how that works out. I mean, I'm pretty sure there might be a long course time trial at nationals too. So like
NCAA has a long course time trial session, I think the day after everything's done, as
Yeah,
far
it's
as
on
I'm aware
Sunday.
of. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm itching to get a long course time trial in too, actually, for the 2IM. I mean, but back to what you're saying, long course events, they really are just so different from their short course yards counterparts. I mean, it's almost just different swims.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not even swimming the two back long course because I'm not built for that. I'm swimming the 100 back, which I think is my better long course event. Not I don't know if I necessarily expect to get the trials time, but I just kind of want to I just want to go best time. And it's just like long course is kind of fun. Don't have to do underwaters for once, which is kind of a blessing.
I was gonna
And
say,
it's just like,
I don't know if that underwater train is gonna help you as much in 100 back long course.
yeah,
What's your
probably
plan for
not.
that?
Um, yeah, I don't survive. I think it's just I'm not swimming the two back because it can't bail me out in the long course two back. There's really no hiding from how bad your legs are gonna hurt at the end of that race, and I've suffered through more long course two backs than I want to, and I don't see a reason to add another one.
Yeah, I also, from my understanding, it's kind of more like the 200 and strokes of yards are similar to the hundreds of stroke and meters. And then, like, I've always been a better 400 IMer and yards, but I'm just atrocious at the long course 400
Oh
IM
my God.
because my breaststroke can only be masked by pullouts for so long in yards. So it kind of exposes me in meters. I got to go down to the 2IM. So I kind of see where you're coming from on picking the 100 over the 200 there.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy who just gains a huge advantage in the long course pool because like you can ask any of these guys, but my walls are worse than subpar at that, honestly.
They're really bad, Peter. They're really bad.
Peter's still like that 8-year-old that does like a Superman streamline off every wall and just like kind of pops up and just starts swimming.
Thanks.
I'm super curious, you guys. I know, whenever we get feedback on the podcast, people love to hear, outside of swimming, what are your passions? What are your interests? What keeps you busy? Would love to hear from both of you guys. How do you guys spend your time when you're not in the pool at WashU?
Kyle, you want to go?
I'll go. Okay, so I actually started out as a mechanical engineering major, same as Alex. Lasted about 2 years of that, of him just being better than me at Mech E too, and swimming. Couldn't take it anymore, so I switched to comp sci. That's not the full story, but yeah, I'm taking 18 credits, or no, actually 21 this semester.
Oh my God.
18 plus 3 independent study. So I'm steady grinding basically this semester, just catching up on a 4-year degree in 2 years. But thankfully my schedule next semester is going to be like 12 credits or something. So I might actually, pick up a hobby or two. I don't know. But yeah, for now it's pretty much the swimming, school, and eating grind that I've been on.
That's that's real. So yeah, the answer to that question for you definitely sounds like it's I do a little coding, I do a little eating, and a little swimming. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was hoping you were gonna say, because I came in as prospective Mechie, and I switched to an easier major in civil engineering. But yeah, I was half expecting you to say, oh, I had to switch to something easier. It was just brutal. I needed time to do other things, but you just made your life so hard, man. Comp sci is just a different beast.
Yeah, I think it's honestly not that bad. I think I'd be having a lot better time if I didn't spend 2 years doing Mech E. But it's definitely like enjoyable. It's like fun to do. It's like puzzles. Mech E is just math all the time.
Yeah, but your interviews suck. You guys got to do technical interviews.
Sure.
Ours just personality interviews. With me, it's tough to do any like clubs or anything out of swimming, just because swimming takes so much of our time. But I mean, right now, like what I'm doing out of it is, last summer I worked at Kennedy Space Center as an intern, which was very, very interesting. I want to get into the space industry and rocket industry after college. But right now the big thing I'm doing outside of swimming is applying to grad schools, because I want to go get my PhD somewhere after after undergrad. But yeah, that's pretty much takes up all my time, swimming and applying and homework.
Wait,
That's
Alex, do you
super
have
cool.
a 5th year?
Yeah.
Do you plan on using your 5th year?
Yeah, hopefully that's the goal.
Oh,
Peter's gonna get to recruiting after this call's over.
Yeah,
that's
let's see
the
if
goal.
you also hop aboard with Derek Moss and go to NYU.
No, does NYU even have engineering? I don't even know if that they do.
I
But
don't know. I just threw that
Case
out there.
Western has some great engineering, man. You might want to check it
Cleveland's
out.
beautiful too.
Beautiful,
It's so
beautiful
nice
weather
this
in
time of
Cleveland.
year.
Yeah.
It's like windy and rainy and 38 degrees right now. It's like so similar to Florida.
Totally didn't want to cry when I left this morning to go to class.
You'd love it here.
no, that's how it was in St. Louis today, actually. So we're in the same boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got up to 45 today, so not to brag.
We got you beat. It was 49 earlier today when I was downtown.
Okay. I'll run the hobbies thing. Last year in the off season, when like your schedule just frees up so much, we did pick up golf. I'm looking to get back into that as soon, like day that my season's done. I'm hitting the golf.
Oh man, what is up with swimmers and golf? Like all my friends
That's my
back
summer
home,
hobby.
all my friends back at home
Yeah.
who like quit swimming when they went to college, they all started playing golf. Like what? I'm sorry, but I don't really understand the appeal. Like educate me more on why golf is so appealing and you want to go to pursue this.
You got to
Relaxing,
minimize your
Peter.
score and your time.
Yeah, I think it's at least at this point, I forgot what it's called, but it's like that graph where it's like how much you know versus how confident you are with it. And it's like when you know like literally nothing, but you're so confident because like I'm so bad at golf that every time I golf, I get a little bit better, and I'm like, oh, this is sick. So it's kind of fun to just do something new and be like, I can see progress. Like I shank 10 balls in a row, and the next time I only shank 9 in a row, and I'm like, oh, this is sick. It's so fun. I don't know. It's kind of fun to just like go golfing, just hang out in the sun for like 3 hours and do literally nothing with your time. There's something peaceful about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Golf is something I picked up recently, like the past 2 summers, just playing when I wasn't swimming, and I think it's like so much fun. But on the topic of off-season activities, what kind of work do you guys do to stay in shape? I know Alex was talking about it earlier, how you kind of hit the ground running with those first 2 months of the season. What do you do over the summer to help prepare yourselves to just kind of get into the season and start cooking right away?
I'll go. I actually swam with my club team this summer. Just because I was at home, I was working remotely. So I could just 6 to 8 a.m. every day. It's pretty easy. Just start my day off with that. Just like every other summer, and that definitely kept me humble. Because there's this, I'll give a shout out to him. I don't think he watches. His name's Braden Capon. He's 14 years old on my club
That dude's a
team.
beast. That dude
He
is a
went a,
beast.
he went a 200.3 in his two back this summer. Long course meters. um, and there's something about showing up to practice at 6 a.m. every day over the summer and just getting worked by a 14-year-old. That really makes you want to get in shape and keep with it, because it's one thing if it's Alex and he's a 21-year-old college student, but it's a whole different beast when it's a 14-year-old just walking you down every single day. And so that's just like I would just show up to practice. It was just like just a regular summer, like I was in high school basically. And then I swam with my club team basically until the day that I got to WashU. And then I got here at WashU, and it's like, wow, I feel good. I'm like in shape. So it really felt nice to like not quit swimming for 3 months as much as it appeals to me sometimes. It was nice to keep the routine going.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there on that, but also just like I feel like the next generation, like every time you look at kids, like these 14, 13-year-olds that are on the rise, you look at them and you go, wow, like it like the sport of swimming just never ceases to amaze me. I'm just sure like, year after year, like the records are getting taken down. It's very exciting to see how like we're stacking up to the people before us, and the kids younger than us are going to stack up to us too. So, you know, wow. It also is a little heartbreaking though to see that you're getting, worked by someone who's like half your age.
Yeah, you get used to it.
You do indeed.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm a habitual Meet Mobile watcher myself, and I was checking in with my coaches and like some of the younger guys on my team that like are like siblings of like kids my age and stuff at like NCSA age group championships. And I remember this kid's name. I was like, who the hell is this 14-year-old going 147 in the two back at the NCSA age group championships? So I'm glad to know that he's like real and does exist. But
Yeah.
that's like the realest thing ever, man. I went home this summer and there was a 14-year-old on my team, and we were doing shout out Kelvin Tang. He went like 1550 in the mile last year as a 14-year-old, and we were doing 125s for time at the end of practice. I was like, all right, I'll give this a go. And I went like 124 and 125 for time. This kid like broke 120 at the end of practice. And I was just like, all right, like this is just not for me anymore. I'm getting dog walked by
I
like
remember
freshmen in high school.
I remember like before our game against Rochester, we were getting like breakfast after our warm-ups, and Griffin looks at me and goes like, "Oh, dude, there's like this like 15-year-old kid who went like 8 minutes, under 9 minutes in the 1,000, and I was doing the 1,000 that day, and I said, oh, I can totally break 9:30 then if this like kid can do it, if this kid can break 9 minutes."
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Alex, do you do much training over the summer with your club team, or do you just kind of do get in the pool whenever you can and hit the gym type of deal?
Yeah, definitely lifting is more important over the summer. This past summer I wasn't at home. I was in Florida, so I just trained with a smaller club team down there after my internship each day. But yeah, basically same thing as Kyle. But a big thing that we do is we after nationals we go we just swim. We take our 2 weeks off, and then we get back in and go do some casual swimming, and just like for the open swim in our pool, and we like kind of make it a little bit more fun. Like we do like a little less of the hard training, a little bit more fun. It's like relays wise, like I remember last year after nationals, we were like always doing some fun relays. We like put together like a 2x400 breaststroke relay or like a 2x400 backstroke relay. Just like so you pick out a partner on the swim team and then you just like put down a random time and we'd write down on the chalkboard what the record was for each event and we just make up random relays. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit more fun than like competitive training after like in the off season, which I think is important because for I don't know, like how long, 7 months, right? Like 6, 7 months of just straight hard training focused every single day. It's kind of nice to just have a little bit of fun afterwards.
I'd like to chime in. I did one 2x400 breaststroke relay, and I don't think you can call that fun. That was
Listen, it was fun. It was fun. Don't you like having a record, Kyle?
I had the record for like 2 days, and someone snatched it from me because I went like a 5:30.
That's impressive, man. What? Oh man. Yeah, but like I'm totally like getting hooked on the wave of like lifting in the off season like a maniac because like we interviewed Christian Lanuza last time and he showed up at at Kenyon this weekend. I mean, wow, I just clearly it's working out for him. I mean, I'd love to give it a shot.
Yeah, how was your guys' mid-season? How'd it go for you guys?
We
Peter's
were kind
200
of all
IM was
across
the
the
race of the
board.
meet.
Yeah,
Peter's 200 IM.
Peter's two
Remember,
IM was
he
the race
won.
of the meet. If you guys want
remember
to
how
check.
I said I
won-
got
he
like okay. Remember how I said I got first day jitters, right? I totally flinched on the blocks in prelims and just got my got the hammer.
But he brought it back and won the 4 a.m. the next day, so it was all
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah.
It was all a part of his plan.
Shout out to the officiating crew at Kenyon for not DQing Peter in about 2 to 3 other races where he clearly also flinched on the blocks and should have been DQ'd.
Case Western MVPs at that meet. I swear to God.
Peter has a problem where he goes down on the blocks and like continues to rock forward until the gun goes off. Instead of like pulling himself backward, he just kind of creeps towards the front of the blocks. And there were some eagle-eyed officials on deck that saw him just almost fall into the pool before the 2 IM.
No.
Unfortunately,
The 2 a.m. I totally lost balance. Like I legit just like
You could totally go back to the live stream and see that shit. It
yeah,
is so obvious.
I nearly fell off the block. I flinched so hard.
Well, Peter, it's out there on the internet now, so you have to fix it.
It is.
Yeah, that's your motivation. We're gonna work on some starts when we get back from break, Peter.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I think
Yeah,
it is?
but-
I think it's you go like this before all your races and you get a little distracted. So I think you just need to get down and set your feet so you don't fall again.
Yeah, Peter's pre-race routines. Unfortunately, you guys haven't swam us yet this year. We've got a whole new like pre-race block routine that Peter does, where the starters have to wait like 3 minutes before they start everybody else. We got the point to the sky, the pound the chest, and then one of these, and then the blatant false start. That's his pre-race routine. But in all seriousness, our mid-season was pretty decent. We had I think 13 school records total. So it was pretty successful, all things considered. But I think we've just obviously, it sounds like in a similar vein to you guys, we got some great training groups this year. The distance group has been great. The IM group has been great. We've got a lot of progression in our 200s of stroke. John set the top time in the country in the 2 fly.
For about a day.
Yeah, for like 24 hours before Cooper Costello went 146. Peter still has the top time in the 4 IM. Perhaps until Crow swims it next weekend, but we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, you remember when you said you had that hot take that Crow would win the 4 IM? I mean, I'm trying to make your take a little hotter,
Yeah, well,
You gotta watch
I
out for
think
my
we
boy
would
Danny
all be
Sibley. You gotta watch out for
so
him.
happy.
yeah, that's your boy that won UAAs last year.
Sorry, I had to give him a shout out.
Alex, are you gonna beat Derek Moss in the 2 back though? That's a real question.
That is a good question.
Dude, you're
On,
totally beating Derek
I mean-
Moss.
Yeah.
And
I'm
a
praying he
similar-
did that as like a joke at midseason.
Nah,
There's no way a dude goes 151 in the two breast actually does the two back, right, guys?
they pulled
Copium.
up some freshman off the street that goes like 54 and 201. So they just said, we don't really need you anymore. You can do something else.
No.
NYU is eating good this year, though.
They're making
Yeah,
me
they
look
beat
good for saying they're
Chicago.
going to get third. They're making me look great.
Yeah, they're beat Chicago at their home pool at their midseason. So never know what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, those medleys look scary.
Yeah, we'll be looking to get sixth for the 18th straight year in a row. So
Yeah, I mean, we beat Carnegie Mellon to duel me, but I have to be real here. Carnegie Mellon still is just a little bit above us right now in terms of
shout out
championship
Carnegie
wins.
Mellon for giving us a little spanking at midseason.
Yeah.
They
They
did
came back with
not
a
take that
vengeance.
dual meet loss lightly. They were not happy after that. So I guess they won the next round, but you never know what can happen at UAAs, guys. You never know.
We've
Right?
Yeah.
been,
Also, quick note, like speaking of Carnegie Mellon doing well, Carnegie Mellon's coach, Matt Kinney, he has a really good stroke. I mean, he clearly knows what he's doing there with that.
yeah. Matt Kinney hopped in the pool and started doing races in between sessions at our midseason meets. So the bar has been set for the Emory Invite next weekend. We need to see some coaches in the pool swimming in between sessions.
I know our coach, Jim Halliburton. I want to see him rock a 100 fly. I know he was a dog back in the day, as he'll describe. Sometimes we'll be like showing up to practice and see him swimming before the practice starts, and he gets out, changing the locker room, back on deck before we start. I'd like to see a coach's relay at UAAs if possible.
Dude, we
That would
totally
be
got to get
awesome.
Doug
That
in
would be
on a
awesome.
coach's relay.
Yeah. In the word, we asked Doug to come out on deck and swim at with Matt, and he just said no one wants to see me in a Speedo, so we'll leave it at that as the status of the CWRU coaches relay.
Can always get Elizabeth to do it.
Yeah, that's true. We got some speed from Skidmore on our coaching staff too. So
we've been throwing
so
we've been throwing around a couple shout outs. You guys been throwing around. I want to give you guys the floor, Alex and Kyle. Any other people you want to shout out while you're on here, man?
This is a random shout. This is from your guys' midseason. Is that kid on Carnegie? They're like Braden Morford or something.
yeah, Braden Morford,
That's
man, holy crap.
That's the one dude that's one of the two guys I've seen who follows the pace chart, where he splits it a half second apart in his
Yeah.
I remember looking at the video splits and I'm like, no way, he did it. But that guy, like, that backhand speed is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a dog. I talked to a couple of their guys. He split 138 on their relay in the tube free with a 24-second last 50. Apparently, he doesn't do like aerobic free. He just trains sprint. He doesn't do aerobic sets.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, don't even talk to me about back end speed, dude. I was so disappointed. Like I swam the mile. You would expect me to be able to finish a 100-yard race like on a relay, right? But I anchor our B4 medley relay, going out like a 21-2 and coming back a 24-0.
Like Peter got outsplit by Braden
chart
Morford on the last 50 of a 200 doing 100 free. So
this pace chart has to be just
I
would love to
disgusting.
see this.
It's disgusting.
That two free reminds me of is it Toby Obuchi on MIT? I used to swim against that guy in high school, and I remember he let off their it was their A free relay, sorry, and he split it like 23-5, 25 something, 26 something. He came back like a 23-4 in that two free. I was like, Dean Ferris doesn't come back that fast. Like, what are you doing there, man? I saw that and I was like, that's gross, man.
yeah, that dude's a beast. We're roping in a ton of D3 shooters on here.
He was gonna have his work
this
cut
shout
out.
out. Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
I spent a little too much time looking at splits on Meat Mobile, maybe.
Oh, so do we.
Well, clearly you're not the only
nerds
one.
here.
Clearly not the only one. You got three other fellas here who are just in the same boat.
Yeah, Jaden and I spent about 30 minutes today in Econ 360 looking at Swim Cloud. So you can rest assured that you're not the only one who's into some swimming statistics at this time of year.
What are you guys I get a distinct feeling that maybe you guys are some swim swam trolls too. I remember.
Oh, we all got shadow
Yeah,
banned.
exactly.
We're all
Yeah.
shadow banned, dude. We're all shadow banned.
We're
on
all,
Swim
we
Swim.
can't comment on swim swam anymore. We'll leave it to Braden Keith to clarify this on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Whoa, wait. How did you guys know? How do you know it was us?
The Manguin.
Oh,
Wait, were
come
you
on,
guys ice
Peter.
golem? Wait, were you guys ice golem? Or is that a different person?
I think that might have
No,
been
I don't think.
Hopkins.
Hopkins?
Yeah, we're not ice golem.
We were like D3 swim dad. Like
I'm your local D3 swimmer. Jaden is D3 swim dad. And Peter is just the Menguin. And John Drum is just Vengeance Swims. That's also none of us can comment anymore on Swim Swam, but the Anchor Leg Podcast at gmail.com sometimes does comment. So
I've seen those.
yeah.
I've been missing the UAA dialogue in those comment sections.
Yeah, we need to reignite the Division 3 swimming comment sections because those are the best ones. It's like we're getting more traction for their website and it's just funny. So I don't know
I
what
think we took it a little too far when I said everybody on our roster was swimming every event at the Pro Series.
we said, Braden, you forgot the entire Case Western roster on your list of people to watch at the Knoxville Pro Swim.
Yeah, it was like storylines to watch. I was like, all 103 members of the CWRU swim and dive team are coming to compete.
Yeah,
That
I'm
and
sure. I'm
every
sure Swim Swim
person-
actually is just against everything Case Western because I remember that one time they released like during like the Emory midseason meet they released well not midseason but they released like this article that literally said every new Division 3 top time that was posted up this weekend and they just purposely excluded me.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, they don't like us.
They just mentioned everybody but Peter.
Between the comments that we discussed and the comments that every single person who ever enters the transfer portal is coming to Case Western. I don't know how they got that indication.
Yeah, Rex Maurer was seen at the Cleveland airport after he decommitted from Stanford, allegedly.
Wow,
But
I'm glad you like the comments.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm glad to know that our comments have a far further reach than just the Case Western men's swim team. So that's good to know.
No, we love that. We love that. I know we've gotten into some beef with I think Denison after it was after last year at our at their midseason meet. They scored like we were ahead of them by like 100 points, and then like 200 points just appeared out of thin air, and then they
100 IM. I remember this last year. I remember these comments.
and we were we got into some lively debate with them, and it's just fun. You know, I think it's good to have like D3 people interacting with each other, not taking themselves too seriously, and just making the sport like it's just funny.
Yeah, well, there's no bad blood here. It's just funny when I see like Avery Clapp's torn ACL mentioned for like the 80th time in a swim swam comment section. But I mean, we can't have too much fun here.
Is that about it?
All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to add, we'll open the floor obviously to you one more time to shout out anything you'd like to throw in here. But it seems our rambling about the state of D3 has carried us to about a 50-minute podcast here. So we'll try and wrap it up. But yeah, obviously you guys have the floor to plug anything else you want to talk about, shout at anybody else. Give us something to look forward to for Denison next weekend.
I don't really got much. I've already shouted out everyone I needed to. Kyle, I don't know about you.
Yes, I think that's just about everything.
Here, I'll throw you guys this one. Is there anybody you think we should keep on our radar going into Denison?
Like on our team specifically, or just anyone swimming?
Let's start with your team, right?
How's my boy Ogie doing?
Ogie, he's doing great. He's like Kenny on the D's heads. He does his underwaters really well.
That's what I love to hear. It's my guy from RMSC. Shout out Ogie.
What about, is Marco from there too? Marco Manai. I don't know. He's from somewhere in there. Oh, he might be NCAP actually.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. But I would say he's one person to look out for. Marco Manai, he's a freshman. He swims like IM, 2 fly, 2 back. He's just a dog in practice. I'm kind of scared every time he touches the water to see what he does. I think he's gonna pop off here midseason.
Yeah, I guess I'll give a shout out to Matt Walker too. I mean, last year at Denison, he put down a nasty two fly, 146.9. So, and sounds like he sounds like he's gonna go crazy at this one, and he's been training really hard for the two fly. So I'm excited to see that one too. So keep an eye out for that.
All
I've got
right, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
I got another shout out actually. It's to the dude from Japan who I ordered this Mizuno from. Ordered a Mizuno GX 6. I didn't even know they were out yet. From eBay for like $200, and it came in 2 days from Japan.
I'll do you one better. I got the GX Sonic 6 CR right here. I ordered it on October 30th and it came on November 1st. So shout out to the Japanese wholesalers on eBay that are buying like 800 of these and selling them for like a 1% markup. You're plugging the D3 swim scene right now.
Now, the Sonic 6 feels really solid. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm just a slave to Mizuno at this point. I wore an AG for our midseason meet. It is a beautiful suit.
Interesting, because I've got the NV, I think. Whatever.
Noble Velocity.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Oh, there we go.
squeeze.
Get the emotional technique.
Yeah, we're getting Peter an emotional technique for your eyes. Get emotional when you watch his swims.
I'll tear up.
I know you get emotional when you watch my swims because you go, "Oh my god, did he just false start that race?"
That's true. All right, guys. Well, we'll try and wrap it up. I know we gotta be a little respectful of your time too. It's 9 p.m. on a holiday week. But we like super appreciate you guys for joining us. Obviously, shout out to the listeners for checking this one out. It's been a great episode. We always love to get some cross UA collaboration here. Sounds like you guys are going to do great things next week at Denison, and we're looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, thank you again, and best of luck. Seriously, you guys, it sounds like based off what you're talking about your practices, you're not going to need it, but go out there and rock it.
Thank you guys very much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
All right. Well, to our listeners, this has been another episode of the Anchor Leg Podcast, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in.